Hello, so daily stream as usual. We'll try and keep away from politics today. For those of you that didn't see yesterday's stream, it got a bit too political, so I thought afterwards I better delete it because, some people would watch it out of context and then get shitty about it. So anyway, don't forget to like the stream as you come on, because it seems YouTube shares videos more the more people like them. As much as I hate going, oh, like the vids, don't forget to click the bell, all that bullshit. But yeah, it seems that in general with YouTube, the more you interact with the videos, the more they actually share them to people that subscribe. So latest figures, I forgot as usual to put the load of stuff in the description, but latest figures, the official figures, is 71,000 plus people confirmed infected, 1,700 odd dead, 11,000 recovered. I don't think this has suspected numbers on this site, but other sites do, but the suspected numbers are pretty damn high as well. One thing I've got coming in the post today that might be of interest to people, nothing to do with COVID-19. I'm not in the post on Amazon. I've got a variable voltage transformer coming, so I should be hopefully able to test those two Radiacs. Because they use obsolete batteries, and you literally cannot get 50, 30 volt batteries anymore. The variable voltage transformer I've got goes up to 60 volts, so I should hopefully be able to wire them up, use that to simulate the batteries being in it, and then test them that way for videos. I think it's 9 confirmed cases in England. Let's have a look. Yeah, 9 confirmed in England, 8 recovered, so 1 person's still in hospital with it. But I think they've said they've tested over 3,000 people, or they're waiting for the test results back from 3,000 people. It's quite a lot. The thing you have to bear in mind, though, with COVID-19 is because of it seems the week plus incubation period for most people, you always seem to have like a week's lag on like what's going on at the moment, because there could obviously be people infected who feel fine are spreading it, and it's only going to be when they start coming down with it that you'll see the numbers go up. Just eBay really, LC Dark. eBay and Amazon. There's not really anywhere else I can recommend. I mean, it probably is, because this is where nearly all the stuff gets stored. But yeah, since the last stream, there's nothing new in here. But as I said, there's the 2 Radiacs on that shelf with the MD3 now. As I've already said before, things like the Spaziani TR2000 to my Avon CT12. N95 is like the minimum level of protection you could wear LC Dark. I would definitely recommend going a bit above that, but if that's all you can get, then it's all right. No cure, Mr. Ginge. It's going to probably be at least a year till there's a cure or a vaccine. There was a video yesterday reviewing the GVS one, the Ellipse. If you didn't see that, well, that was today's video, wasn't it? Actually, the review of it. Yeah, the review is today's video. I filmed a video for tomorrow, but I've obviously not got any new masks. I can't buy a new mask every day to review. eBay, Nathan. If they've not run out of stock, let's have a quick look. There's weird clown masks coming up for some reason. Apparently a Joker related. But here we go. Not very much money at all. If I get the stream back over to this tab. Like $6, €6 in total. Oh, Spaziani make filters, Steve. As well as making masks. That's the MSA one there. Yeah, there's a Spaziani filter. The box style ones, funnel guns, are a bit better just because the plastic coating on them is going to protect them a bit from being dropped, and also, dampness getting in them. That's the main thing. Just tracking my package again to see how close that is. Somebody else will answer the door. It's just seeing how long away it will be, but it should turn up in the next 10-20 minutes. It's already in the US. That's all right, funnel guns. But yeah, in general, if you can get them, you always want the filters with a metal or plastic case, just because it stops water and other shit getting into the filter. And if you want to disinfect them, you can spray them down and wipe down the outside. Whereas when you've got like the disc type filters, you can't really wipe them down. Yeah, all around the world, funnel guns. The M is better than the regular GP5 because it's got the voice diaphragm on, so other people can hear you. Yeah, in the US, there is 15 confirmed cases, 0 deaths, and 3 recovered cases. And Canada is 8 confirmed cases, 1 recovered. Too much. Person with a Russian name I can't pronounce. But again, it's for videos, isn't it? If I didn't do videos on it, I wouldn't have very many. Daniel, the best mask to get would be the Israeli children's masks. Whether or not you can find any for sale anywhere is another matter, but if you type in Israeli youth mask or Israeli children's mask, it's those type. I've not ever used the Explore, but Geiger is a very good company. I think, Jaden, there's going to be massive economic implications. That's what tomorrow's video I film's on. But all the things to do with like factories no longer, exporting, companies or countries no longer exporting, parts not getting to different places, people who would obviously be taking time off sick, not working. Some of them, Nathan, if you mean Y2K type masks, some are P1, some are P2, some are P3. P3 is the same as P100, so it depends which version you get. I have no way of knowing without getting them and looking at them. Then I would buy them random content when you still got the chance if you don't have enough. Well, I don't wear N95 masks anywhere. I only ever use reusable masks because it's a false economy buying disposable masks for most people. If your GP5 is in good condition, you've got modern filters for it, yes, otherwise no. No, FMJ05s come in like small, medium, and large. They're done on the Soviet sizing system, as in like 1 to 4 or 0 to 4 or whatever. That would imply that our government was organised, so I don't think they will do. No. I think they will, anything like that, I don't think they'll bother with. Oh, looks like a van turning up outside the house on the security camera. Is that, I think that's my parcel. Somebody else will get the door anyway, but it's just sort of funny that, having a security camera means you can see if anybody's outside. It can literally be a couple of days to a week or so. They think 24 days has been the longest anybody's had it so far, but like an incubation period. But for some people, it could be as little as a couple of days. I think the average is about 7 days. Well, as we've said over and over again, China's lying about the figures or covering up the figures. So yeah, it means they're cremating a lot of bodies. It's not really new news at the moment. When you say 4.4 million dead, what country is that in? Is it globally? If it's globally, that's nothing really, because that's less than 1% of the Earth's population. Not even 1%, is it? Because 0.1% or less, considering the Earth's like 6 or 7 billion people. Well, the Chinese government, John, did make lots of them illegal after the Hong Kong protests to stop people wearing them, when the police go to tear gas them. Also, just because there's not enough. Don't wear it anymore, Sandy. That's an easy tip. I don't know what you mean. Plastic wall closing the big hole for the filter screw on. No idea what you mean. If you mean there's a plug, remove the plug. If you keep spamming the chat, Sandy, you'll get a block because I've already answered you. Yeah, and as said, I don't think the UK government is organised to send out alerts on text or whatever. Not if you have a licence for it, Arnold. It's perfectly legal. Otherwise, people who have a firearms certificate or a shotgun certificate couldn't shoot them, could they, if they're not allowed to own ammo? But we're getting completely off the point of the video now. No, never use 3M branded ones. Right, the person who's been spamming the chats over various streams with the exact same question's been blocked because I don't know how many times I have to answer them for them to. But yeah, fuck off, you're blocked. Anyway. Sorry, that was just a person that's been coming on every stream recently asking the same question. Every time I answer it, he never listens, so. Tyvek suit, well, it's a Thai gem, actually, that one, but dust sort of use, like water use. They normally put on the actual suits what they're designed for, so just read that. No, if you listen to what I said, I'd say as news comes in, I will do an updated filter thing. There's no extra news on it yet, so I can't do a video. Otherwise, it'd be, here's a video, or I can't give you any information, which would be pointless. I've already got a better thing than LifeStraw. I've got one of those big pump filter type things, so I wouldn't buy LifeStraws when I've got something better. That's cool, Schmitty. No, it's just a connection, flip side, in terms of what they protect from. If it says ABAC, then it's ABAC. No, a PMG will not be destroyed by soap. It was designed to withstand chemical weapons. I have no idea what you're on about, Jordan. GP5s do not have plastic walls on them. I wonder if you're thinking of the Tissot system, but that's to stop the mask fogging up. They'll leave charcoal over your clothes, hit or miss GTA, but Mark III suits are fine for easily decontaminating that. Just the issue is because they're charcoal lined suits. Cheers, Laser. Yeah, and thank you, Laser, for reminding people, don't forget to like the stream. Everybody that initially came on liked it, but then I don't think anybody has bothered since. All right, Peach. Just store them out of direct sunlight, ETF Ross, and somewhere that's room temperature. So a dark cupboard closet would be fine, but don't store them in like a car or on a windowsill because sunlight will fuck them up. Yeah, Hungarian 75Ms and 69Ms, I think they're called, Mike P, are the ones that look like the German World War II masks. Thank you very much, Sichuan13. About the direct impact, not all that concerned, at least not in Western countries. The problem's going to be, which my video is about tomorrow I filmed, the economic impacts, I think, and also supply line sort of impacts, where certain products are needed for certain things and they won't get there because of disruption to global trade and everything. I mean, obviously, if you're elderly or got lots of underlying conditions, then I think you ought to be worried. But I think for most people, it's more going to be, are you going to have a job in however many months' time if your job relies on, more things type, if that makes sense. I know I'm rambling a bit, but for example, if you work in a company that relies on Chinese parts, Lots of these Chinese parts have not been being exported for like 2 months now. So I think Fiat or somewhere was saying they might have to lose a load of jobs, in whatever country it was, because they rely on Chinese parts coming in, and it's, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and like Rev Chain says, lots of medicine comes from China, and thank you very much as well for the donation. But yeah, it's all that sort of things. Yeah, because I've had orders cancelled from China. Thank you very much, Arthur. Understated, but not necessarily for, like I was just saying, not necessarily for the reasons of how deadly it will be, because we don't know accurately yet, but more just because of what it's going to do and probably cause a global recession. Well, thank you very much, Keith. Yeah, this will. All live streams are available. The only ones that aren't are ones I end up deleting just because it turns into like a stupid political argument in the chat. But this one definitely will, because I'm being very careful not to go on a rant again about certain things that I then think, oh, somebody's going to take that out of context and report me to the Hurt Feelings Police. A dosimeter, depends what you mean, Harris. A dosimeter can be the same as those two other things. Geiger counters are in general better overall things. Ion chambers have pros and cons. Unless you mean like a dosimeter pen that they actually run using ion chambers. MC1 over the GP5 and the Czech CM3 over the MC1. You don't really need a vacuum sealed bag, just keep it in its satchel. Silicone lubricants are more just to polish the mask up over the years. Modern masks won't need it. No, I think it most likely started from a wet market where lots of animals were kept in horrible conditions in cages next to each other, so it's very easy in unsanitary conditions for viruses to spread. Same sort of reason cholera used to spread in lots of places, because, people had not good sanitation. Oh, you normally, Lewis, choose one or the other. You don't do both. I still have no idea what you're on about, Jordan. No, if they're UVB, like this one, they do not produce ozone. I mean, maybe if you sniff completely next to it for hours, you might get a tiny ozone smell, but compared to UVC, no. Just various stuff to do with Corona stream binary. And don't forget to like the stream, everybody, if you've come on now, because there's 96 likes as opposed to 200 odd people watching, so massively higher amount of viewers and likes. Not that I like begging for likes on streams, but as I said, it seems YouTube seems to force people now to get lots of likes and shares and all that bullshit before they share the videos to people who actually subscribe. Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Richard 2418. I don't know who political is, but I'm saying I'm going to try and not keep this chat political. I really actually don't know what you're on about with that, unfortunately. What solutions? Unless I'm missing something. Can you rephrase that slightly and I'll see if I can understand it better? Yeah, there's loads of videos like that, Ross. There's vehicles of massive trucks driving around with like bleach kind of spray things. You get a guy in hazmat gear walking around spraying things down. Hello, Callums. You alright? I see you've got an approved tick next to your name. The thing is, though, I am of the opinion we shouldn't let the Chinese build lots of things over here. Nothing against the Chinese, but in general, you don't want foreign governments having lots of control over your infrastructure. If it's the filter, then remove it. It's literally one of the things that keeps the filter sealed. I don't have a Romanian M72. If I've got a Romanian M85, and that's an alright mask. Pretty good mask, actually. Depends what's in the bleach. If it's pure bleach, no. If it's diluted bleach that's got loads of other shit in it to make it smell nicer and whatever, could do. Depends also if it's a silicone-free M mask or any other rubbers. Look up the laws in your country, Mike, on asbestos. You'll probably have to bag it up and call an asbestos disposal company. Biggest concern of the virus soldier reviews, as we've been saying, is probably economic knock-on effects and things like all the drugs that are manufactured in China that just aren't being exported at the moment. Car parts not being exported, you know, lots of different things for different supply chains just not coming around. I've never used a 3M6000 full face one. I've used the half face ones, they're alright. I'm sure the full face ones are good, but I always prefer 40mm masks to like weird proprietary filter ones. Mein Deutsch ist nicht gut, sprechen Sie English, danke. There you go, Matt. If your M65 fits you properly and is in good condition and you put a new filter on it, yes. What's worth a read? Fun with guns. Have I missed something? If it's so infectious, everybody will eventually get it, either die or become immune. It depends what sort of dishwasher, though, Tim, and what the mask is. Some masks will break if you put them in a dishwasher. Also, it depends what temperatures the dishwasher gets to and all that sort of things. I know if I put masks in a dishwasher we have at work, it would break the masks and all the dishwasher because it would launch them with the power of the jets into other bits of the dishwasher. Yeah, I've got some East German bags. They're actually up on that shelf, but they're probably just out of frame. If you posted a link, it's been deleted by YouTube. You can't post links in live streams, they hide them. I've heard so far that there might be testicular damage to men from it. I don't know how true that is. The other thing I've heard is, yes, that you might get it and either get an infection from something else and then be damaged by that, or you can potentially recatch it after you've been given the all clear. Apparently that's the problem they're having in China. But how true any of this is, we won't know for a while. Viper, I think that was the thing I was sort of talking about, but I haven't seen his particular video on that. But yeah, that was something coming out in the paper recently. Stick a load of newspaper in it, Allah's bar, and then it will regain its shape. So you essentially stuff it with newspaper, and after a few days it should have gone back to its shape. No, most people getting the coronavirus can be any age. If you mean most people dying from it are elderly, yes, but that's like nearly all illnesses. But until we've had the coronavirus around for over a year, we won't know if it's not as bad as the flu. But I'm just going to warn you, what you're posting is literally a shield copy and paste thing. So it does give me, some doubt whether or not you're a real person. A week or two gaming melon, if it was kept open and you were using it every day for a week. Charcoal expires pretty fast when in use. No, it wasn't a stream though, Harris. It was a, what do you call it, premiere video of just a load of his other videos put together. We don't know. There's lots of videos, sadly, of dead kids from China, but on their official papers, it doesn't really hurt children, which I don't believe. Oh, you mean the thing from the Windy map? Yeah. As we know, the crematoriums have been running 24/7. You can try fun with guns. Whether or not YouTube will shadow ban the comment, I don't know, but you can try it. Yeah, Callums, I think certainly if, you can catch it, it can make you ill, but then you can keep catching it. that would be really, really bad. I mean, at the moment, we don't know. Because the problem is where there's so much conflicting info coming out from so many places, it's really hard to know at the moment what's genuine, what's not, what's a fluke, Yeah, exactly, ETF Ross. Weirdly, though, there was a video put on today on YouTube of a North Korean news report on coronavirus, and it was subtitled, and it was a lot better than a lot of the ones we've had over in the West, which says something when the North Koreans can make a more unbiased news report on it than what you see on the BBC. That would be manufacture date, Steve, because the plastic Israeli filters are fairly modern. I do not think that could in any way be the expiry date if they're meant to last like 5 or 10 years, because the Type 80 filters are the ones they've used for ages and ages up until recently. All right, I'm getting rid of the person spamming the comments while we've already tried to answer him. Yes, Daniel. Well, the good news, and I don't want to get political because this is where it got political yesterday and I had to delete the stream, but looks like the BBC won't be having a TV license anymore. They'll have to rely on subscription, so people will only have to pay that want to watch the BBC. They're fucked, aren't they? And that's great news. But anyway, we won't talk about that because I don't want to go down the political rabbit hole. Thank you very much, Feels Guy. Enjoyed all your streams, mate. Can 40mm filters fit into the MSA 410? Yes. And any panoramic mask, as long as it's 40mm panoramic mask, then yes. What should I use to disinfect silicon materials? Thanks. Let me add you on Discord. But yes, they certainly do work on the 410 because behind me is an MSA 410. And if you watch this, there you go. So yes, that works. Right. Anyway, let me add you on Discord and then invite you to the server. There we go. Yeah, it's exactly that, Callum, because there's so much information coming out that, varies and all that. You can't really say, oh, it's not going to be as bad as the flu because we simply don't know yet. The death rate of it is almost double SARS now, even though to begin with people going, oh, it can't be as bad as SARS, it won't be as bad as SARS, all that sort of stuff. So, there's so many factors with it that we just don't know. To disinfect silicon materials, if you want to do it safely, I would recommend getting the sort of very mild bleach wipes or 70% rubbing alcohol. The BBC is the British Broadcasting Company or Corporation, Excalibur. And what they do is essentially how it works, or has worked for ages in Britain, is if you own a television, not own it as in to, play video games on it or connect a DVD player, but if you have it connected as a television, every other company does a thing for the, where they just put adverts on, or you pay a subscription fee to view a certain channel. The BBC, you are forced to pay a tax if you own a television, called the license fee, which is why a lot of people take the piss out of Britain for having it. But none of us actually want to have it. It's just one of those mandated things. And the BBC is becoming less and less popular over time. And the quality of everything's deteriorating. So you're still having to pay this license fee, but it's just more and more shit they're putting on, basically. So basically, the government's been saying, right, if people want to watch the BBC, then the BBC can have a subscription fee. And then you won't have to pay a TV license. And then the BBC's not very happy because, of course, they want an enforced amount of money because they want to have money no matter what, because, they don't make good quality content. Yeah, antibiotics are for bacterial infections. They do not work against viruses. A really big scary thing for a while has been antibiotic-resistant bacteria, as in, diseases you could get caused by bacteria that are now antibiotic resistant. That's a completely separate thing from a virus, but it's, you know, one of those scary things. But again, if there's problems getting antibiotics and you're more vulnerable when you have coronavirus for whatever reason, then that is a scary, you know, concept. Yeah. So you watch one thing, but you're still expected to pay the same fee as if you watched all the BBC content. You know, it's not really fair, and I think this is why, you know, BBC, if they get forced to do a subscription fee, will really have to up their game, because most people do not give a shit about the BBC. But sorry, I don't want to keep going back onto that. There was another thing as well, Dave, recently, where old people are now going to be forced to keep paying the license fee, when before, if you were elderly, you didn't have to pay it anymore. But now the BBC are like, oh, fuck that, we want more money. If you're elderly, you know, if you're an 80-year-old grandparent, fuck you, you're still going to have to pay our fee. Anyway, let's go back to talking about coronavirus, not how shit the BBC is. And don't forget to like the stream, please, everybody. Just seems to help YouTube share it. Patreon people, or people who donate, basically. Yeah, Little Vamp, when I was in Lloyd's the other day buying some cough medicine, they had some there, but they put the price up, and they were tiny bottles, like, you know, ones that size, where you'd probably get like 3 squeezes out of it before you had to bin it. There's no rules in the UK about not being allowed to have a gas mask in your hand luggage. If you get weird looks, you just have to explain it. Thank you, Daniel. Post your Discord ID and I can send you an invite, but thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You can get, oh, I did not know you could get swimming goggles with prescriptions, Ian. I might have to look into that, because if they're not too expensive, I will definitely get some to wear with half-face masks. Just literally bot side, type in P3 filter into eBay, or P100 filter. Load should come up. If they're not coming up, it means they're all gone. So yeah, Daniel, post your Discord ID, please, and I will invite you. Let me search it, Simon. I've seen a lot of the videos shared on other sites, but I'll look into that after the stream. Literally $1 or £1, Steve, whatever it is in your currency. It's more just, it's mostly because I've had it for a while, you know, so it was for people that donated as just a little perk. And it's just not fair on other people who've donated if I let people do it for free. It also kind of works as a quality filter, because most people who want to troll or whatever aren't going to pay money. I'm still waiting for Daniel to post his Discord ID. Do you have a Discord account, Little Vamp? If you do, you can get an invite. But basically, Discord's just kind of like a chat program. It's a bit like a Skype sort of. What was the really old thing, Ventrilo? It's kind of a bit like that. It's just a lot of people use it because you can make groups for anything on there. So it's just more like a chat room type thing. All right, thank you, Daniel. I'll add you now. But yeah, it's just a lot of people use it, so obviously it's just kind of a perk. It also means if people want to ask me questions about masks or other people, there's kind of a group there to do it. Because some of the issues is with like the proper gas mask groups, even though they can be really good for certain things, so I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing them, is a lot of the groups don't want to talk about corona, and a lot of the corona-related groups don't want to talk about gas masks. Like, you know, they'll say, go and ask this group about it, or that group will say, go and ask this group about it. Or, you know, they'll say, a mask won't protect you, or we don't know, don't ask us. And then people are like, well, I want to find out the information, where do I go? If it gets large enough, Tim, yes, but I think they'll struggle to implement them. Not by default, Ben. If you get the outserts for the S10 that are like the shady ones, certainly Little Vamp, because that's still the main point of my channel. It's just at the moment most people want info on this, so I'd be silly not to do videos on it, because this is where loads of new people are finding the channel from. But yeah, I'd love to do some more Crossbow videos and all, stuff recently. I've got the Radiacs behind me and the rate meter I've still not done videos on yet, and a load of other radiation related stuff as well that I really want to cover. I've actually got quite a lot of Geiger counters. I don't know if I've ever shown on streams or videos properly yet, but again, at the moment, people just want to know about Corona stuff, so if that's what people want to watch, I will appease them. Yeah, it's very scary stuff. I mean, thankfully, I don't want children, but yeah, I think for most men, that is a very scary thought. I've seen people with surgical masks on before in the London tube. Thankfully, I don't live in London, but N95 style masks and surgical masks you sometimes see people wearing, never really full gas masks. But I suppose it depends how bad it gets. I don't have a Radex brand one. I have quite a lot of other brands. Apparently Radex ones are fine. When I've seen videos on Radex counters, they don't seem to overload very easily. Yeah, that seems to be a very common thing in lots of places, Richard, where no matter which group you go on, it's never the right group, even when it's a related thing. I think that's why a lot of people have been saying thank you for providing, information on masks, because, the gas mask groups are mainly there for collectors, which is fine, obviously. And they don't want to talk about current events to do with gas masks. And then things about coronavirus, they're like, oh, we're not a prepper group, not a gas mask group, go ask somebody else. So then people are like, well, neither of these groups that seem like they should be relevant want to give info. I really don't know, Soda. I mean, if you want to take no chances, wear like a raincoat hood with a mask. The problem is I don't think lots of people know at the moment. Yeah, if you watch the Chernobyl series or know about the history of the Chernobyl accident, you can understand why a lot of people are calling this Chinoble, just simply because, it's communist playbook, scapegoat locals, downplay it, say you've got it under control, give out propaganda numbers. So it's, it's that sort of thing. You could always, if they're sealed, you could always just sell them on eBay fairly cheaply each. If you undercut whatever the new price of it is of them, people will still buy them. Yeah, that's the thing, Daniel. I'm of that opinion as well. I don't like dust masks because I've used a few brands of dust masks. Do I still have them behind me, or did I put them back in my car boot? But there are a few brands of like dust style masks I've used that are actually good. But for the most part, yeah, I'm not a fan of them. If anybody was wondering, that video where the guy sprays the office full of people with the bug sprayer thing? This is the mask he's wearing. Kind of funny that he's wearing one I've got and actually like, but this is one of the actual quite decent cheap Chinese masks. There are a lot of Chinese masks I wouldn't recommend, but this one's actually quite good. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Steve. Let me add you. Friend's request failed. Can you check your name and see what the spelling mistake was? Or it could just be Discord being funny. Let me try it without a capital. No, it doesn't like that either. If you post it again, I'll try and do it again. Well, I know they dropped loads and loads of nuclear bombs on Kazakhstan and did loads and loads of damage to people's genetics in the region they did that. Was it the Polygon, they called it? The region where the Soviets did lots of their nuke tests and then also did it for human nuke experiments. Only if it gets really bad ETF frost. Like if I was in Wuhan right now, I'd definitely wear an NBC gear, full NBC gear if I was going out. But in Western countries, I don't think you need to yet. But again, it's only a decision you can really make for yourself. I've never seen portable UVC lamps for sale, but if you can get a lamp that's, like a battery-powered UVC bulb, it would disinfect things, yeah. especially if you've got it close enough to the clothing or the surfaces or whatever. Daniel, if you just type in Soviet polygon nuclear tests or whatever, there were lots of things where they basically knew that people downwind were, becoming irradiated fatally or having genetic damage, and they did medical reports on them, not to help them, but to research what would happen. That's almost a completely unanswerable question, Stream Binary. Depends on the model of the mask, if the surplus shop is selling them for a good price or they're massively price gouging, condition of the mask, there's so many factors. Right, let me try that again, Steve, thanks. It won't have the space after Steve-O, but I'll try that, hang on. But if it's capital I, that'll be why. No, it still doesn't like it. You have to try again. Make sure you copy and paste it exactly as you see it. Yeah, that's why you have to remove them in like the very first room or in like a mud room kind of thing. There's a video actually of some Chinese doctor wearing a mask and then taking the mask off and then rubbing her eyes or rubbing his eyes before he's cleaned them. Yep, if you're using thank you, the Martin 123 has donated, but yeah, as I said in the video when I did a UV thing, you need UV protection for your eyes if you're using UVC because it burns your skin and eyes. It's the reason I recommend UVB more than UVC, because this is a UVB bulb. I'm yet to give myself eye or skin damage from sitting near this. But the UVC lamp I certainly would not want on because it can give you arc eye, just as like a random lamp. Yeah, we've brought that up a couple of times on the stream so far, Anya, but yeah, pretty scary. It depends how you mean flying bomber. If you've got anything that produces neutrons, it can make anything radioactive from far as I understand, but stuff that's radioactive won't make other things radioactive unless you spill like dust from it on stuff. Basically how it works is if you simply got like radioactive items in a can, they're not going to make other things radioactive. But if you've got something that produces neutrons and then that's hitting other things, then they will become radioactive. Steve-O posted his name again, yeah, correctly. In the UK, we don't have any laws on crossbows at the moment, as much as politicians would like to put them in. So if there's some law, it's either because a company doesn't like that their crossbow's getting cloned, or it's some other thing. But there's no rules in the UK saying you can't have above a certain draw weight or a certain size on a crossbow. Yeah, what Daniel says. It's certainly not the knives that make people go out and stab people. I never pick up a knife, to cut something and go, oh yes, knife, I will go out and do your bidding. I don't think that ever happens in reality. No, you didn't, Gavin, don't lie. You don't need to spam the comment, but yes, they did fucked up shit like that. Like lots of people did in nuke tests, to basically human experimentation with it. Yep, literally because of the green colouring and the words like zombie killer, zombie slayer on the side. It's fucking stupid. You're not allowed to hunt with crossbows or bows in the UK. It's that simple. At least in the UK. In other countries, you can bow hunt, but not in the UK. Yeah, 3M has started doing that White Wolf because they've literally realised their best-selling products at the moment is masks and filters. But again, I think it's going to be a while before companies start massively going into production runs of them before you start seeing them turn up on eBay and Amazon and everywhere. I might head off in 5 minutes. I'm just gonna. No, Daniel, you can get good crossbows for literally £100 to £200 region if you go for the Mankung ones. The thing is, lots of crossbows are just rebranded other brands, massively uppriced. Most of the time, it comes down to how good you are at shooting, not the quality of the crossbow. I've definitely used some crossbows that are absolutely shit, but I've got lots of Taiwanese crossbows that at like 10 yards, you can get a very small group, 10, 20 yards, a group that big. Favorite bit of survival gear I own? I'll try and think for different categories. Gas mask Avon CT12, NBC suit, my Polish Fu1 suit, Geiger counter, the Therapy. No, I've already said the S10 doesn't give any UV protection unless you put the outserts on it. Basically, no masks give UV protection without tinted outserts. Yeah, that looks quite cool, ETF Ross, but sadly I don't have any. I've never found a UK seller with them in. I've seen US sellers, but then I have to pay tax and like stupid postage for something quite cheap, so I've never bothered. Right, anyway, I'll be off in a minute. Has that person posted? Right, oh yeah, Steve, let me try that again. Sometimes with Discord, it's a case of just trying to post it in loads and loads of times. It worked that time because you posted it as I think the number 0, not the letter O. That's why it worked the last time. Yeah, now you copy and pasted it, it worked. So that's done. But yeah, sometimes there's an annoying problem with Discord as well where you send out invites and it just doesn't work. Anyway, I'll go off the stream now. As soon as you accept my request, Steve, I can invite you into the server. But yeah, I'll be going off in a couple of minutes. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for all the donations. Don't forget to like the stream if you've not done so already. I'm going to go and get my variable voltage transformer as I'm very interested in that. Can anyone join Discord? Yes, as long as they donate. Yeah, thank you, everybody. And I will see you. I'll hopefully do a stream tomorrow, but I don't know at the moment. But anyway, yep, see you all and have a good evening.